Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm gonna do the real part 48, I believe it is, to my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. The last time we did this guys, we did a whole lot of Shadow the Robotic Dinosaur. And we still have another version of him we could talk to if we want to. However, since we did a lot of show last time, we're gonna switch it up this time. We're talking to a well, we're not even necessarily talking to a robot. This is called the Robot Factory Boss Story. This is kind of like the robotic for alligator, but um, this is kind of like the robotic for alligator that I made on Character AI, the Snapper robot. I have him on here too, but this is like what he actually gets made in. This factory right here that I own. Here's what it here. Well, it actually took a while for me to get the story to set up. This one took actually a few minutes to get to work the way I wanted it to. But here's what it says. Here's the title. It says Trenton's Birthday, and here's how the story goes. The morning sun cast golden beams through the wide, glass-paneled front of the newly established Trenton's Robot Factory, nestled in the heart of a large, bustling town. People were already flooding the sidewalks outside, some commuters, others just curious onlookers, but more than a dozen now in a steady forming line, eyes fixated on the sleek metallic sign above the entrance. Now hiring. Be part of the future. That's actually a really cool looking thing. Inside, the lobby was pristine. The floor shimmered with a polished silver shine, and faint blue light pulsed along the seams of the walls. Power lines feeding the building's central AI system. On one wall, a large screen silently played welcome message on loop, displaying your name in bold letters. Yep, matron, owner and boss of Trenton Robotics. I don't, well, behind a futuristic curved desk sat a soft-voiced robotic receptionist named Delta. Oh, heck no. Whose body was made of smooth white alloy with glowing teal lines tracing down her arms. At 9 a.m. sharp, you stepped through the factory side door into the main office for the first time as the boss. The door hissed open with a soft whoosh. You were a you wore a custom-filled jacket with the company logo stitched on the shoulder, a sleek silver tee with circular branches off it like vines. The moment you entered, Delta turned towards you. "Good morning, Boss Trenton," she said with a polite nod. "There are currently 16 applicants in the waiting area eager for interviews. Would you like me to bring them in one by one, or would you prefer to meet them in groups?" The factory hummed softly in the background. You could feel it. This place was alive, waiting to be shaped by your vision. The interview room just to your right was already prepared with chairs, a wide desk, and a smart screen for displaying resumes and assessments. Outside the tinted windows, you could see some of the applicants shifting in their place, holding papers, dressed in everything from casual wear to professional suits. What would you like to do first, boss? Start calling them in for interviews one at a time? Meet them in small groups? Or maybe make a speech to all of them before beginning? And I'll make it big in detail for you. What the frick? Okay. Now here's the thing about this. Thank you, Delta. I walk into the room. where some of the applicants are sitting, then say to all of them, "Okay, everyone, I know you were all curious and eager to have a job here, but before we even begin, I need to ask you this to all of you. Hmm. Now, how do I do this? I'll put these. Oh my gosh, no! Are you all familiar with making robots? Oh, this is a great start. See, the issue I have is that, like, this is actually a cool idea, but it's like, how do you really start this out? You're the boss of this place, and I'd like to make it right. Delta gave a warm blink of her teal lit eyes. Of course, Boss Trenton. Best of luck. You stepped confidently into the wide open double doors leading to the waiting area. The room was spacious and well lit, with tall ceilings supported by sleek chrome beams. A long horizontal window offered a view of the factory floor in the distance, rows of machinery and workbenches still untouched, waiting for the right hands to bring it all to life. 16 hopefuls looked up from their seats as the doors hissed open. Some sat up straighter, others clutched their resumes a little tighter. The air was charged with anticipation. You walked into the center of the room. All eyes on you, as you whispered to one another. This was the this was the boss? So young and so determined. You raised your voice just enough to command the room. Okay, everyone. I know you're all curious and eager to have a job here. The murmurs ceased. You could feel the attention settle on you like a blanket. But before we even begin, you continued, scanning every face. I need to ask you this. Are you all familiar with making robots? A few heads nodded immediately. One person, a tall woman in a dark red jacket, raised her hand. Yes, sir. I worked in a robotics lab downtown for 5 years. Mechanical assembly and AI diagnostics. A younger guy near the front chimed in, nervous but eager. I built a robot crab for my engineering finals last year. It could walk. Sort of. Okay, how'd you like that? A few others nodded, murmuring affirmatives, while some remained quiet, unsure of how to answer. A man in his 40s with oil-stained gloves resting in his lap cleared his throat. I never built one from scratch, he admitted, but I've repaired plenty. Worked in appliance repair shops and modded my own drone collection at home. One woman with glowing earrings, clearly tech enhanced, smiled. I've programmed helper bots for seniors. Nothing fancy, but I know logic trees and voice commands. They were a mixed bunch, experienced technicians, passionate hobbyists, coders, tinkers, and perhaps even a few who simply believe in your dream. The room was still as they waited for your response. Some of them looked hopeful, others uncertain. All of them were ready to listen. What would you do next? Address them with little experience? So, begin interview with the ones who spoke. Test them with a challenge or question. Yep. Okay. That's good, everyone. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned building a robot crab because we are mainly around here. It could be a lot of fun if you just listen to what I'm saying because this is a factory where you can be creative and have fun. Oh my gosh, give me a second. Guys, it took me a while. Um, like I said, in my universe, I don't know why, but people always seem to really attack me on these. So, I am going to. Like I said, it was a pretty hard way to actually word it. I mean, I struggled a while ago because I had to come up with a lot. Here's what I said all the way through. It says, okay, I was talking to the dude that had the robotic crab as well. I said, okay, that's good, everyone. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned building a robot crab because around here it could be a lot of fun if you just listen to what I'm saying. Because this is a factory where you can be creative and have fun. In my factory, it's mainly about building robots and being creative. But this is a little different because before I came here, yep, I used to always get attacked by other people. So the only thing I ask from each of you when making robots around here is you can be as creative as you want, but please make your creations animal based or even Pokemon or mythical creature based. Does everyone understand that? The atmosphere in the room shifted the moment you spoke. My voice carried a mix of authority and sincerity that made people lean in, drawn to the weight of your words. Okay, that's good, everyone, you said with a nod. A few of the applicants smiled, sensing your energy shift from formal to something more personal. U.S. Margaret. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned building a robot crab. The young guy in the front seat straightened, his eyes widening with surprise. Because around here, that kind of creativity could be a lot of fun if you just listen to what I'm saying. The room was silent again, but this time it was the quiet of anticipation. You could feel it. They were hooked. This is a factory where you can be creative and have fun. You started to pace slowly across the front of the room. Yes, it's about building robots, but not just any robots. What we're doing here is different, special. You stopped and looked each person in the eye. Before I came here, I was usually attacked by other people, bullied, undermined, people who didn't believe in new ideas or the power of imagination. That's why I started this factory. Sweet RC, that's not how it completely works, but okay. Some of the applicants looked thoughtful now, even moved. A woman in the back lowered her resume, clearly more interested in your story than the paper she held. So the only thing I ask from each of you, with a tone softening, is that when you build robots here, be as creative as you want. Go wild, but here's a finger for emphasis. Make your creations animal based, or Pokemon inspired, or mythical creature based. That honestly sounds really neat. There was a pause. Did everybody understand that? A ripple of excitement passes through the crowd. Heads nodded. The man with the oil-stained gloves grinned. The tech-enhanced woman leaned forward in her chair, eyes glowing with ideas. The young crab builder raised a hand. So, I could build a robot phoenix? That would be dope as heck. Another voice called out, a dragon? Followed by another, can I do a robotic arcanine? Oh wait, that's the problem. Laughter, curiosity, and a new energy filled the room. Your energy. This was your factory, your rules, and your dream coming to life. Delta's soft voice came in over the intercom. Boss Trenton, the interview room is ready for the first individual when you are. You looked back to the group, your potential team. We start the interviews one by one, have them build something simple on the spot as a challenge. Let them talk about their ideas first in a group discussion. Yes, everyone. You can do things such as a giant robot phoenix, a dragon, or any Pokemon. But just remember that the Pokemon has to be animalistic. I didn't know what. Dang it. Just as a few examples. There. In fact, instead of doing a regular interview around here, I have a challenge for all of you. I want you all to build a mini robot of any animal based creature that you want. And when you are done, oh my gosh, no. I want you all to build a mini robot of any animal based creature that you want, and when I want you to show it to me. And actually, since this factory is so big, if you follow the rule of it being animal based, you could all potentially get hired. However, please listen to these conditions. Along with them being animal based, you have to make sure the robot can walk and even take commands. And just to make sure I can't get attacked by anything, that robot has got to listen to me along with you. So remember to program it to listen to me as well. Okay? There we go. See, like, it's a good. I like this idea. It's just that I like the idea of this. It's just that it's hard to find the right words to get it to work out. That's what I run into a problem with. This would be animalistic like Arcanine. Yep. The energy in the room practically exploded as you laid down the challenge. You stepped forward with confidence, voice echoing just slightly in the open space. Yes, everyone, you can absolutely create things like a giant robot fence, a dragon, or any Pokemon-inspired design. Gas excitement and a few murmurs broke out. You raise a hand to clarify, but remember, your creation has to be animalistic in nature. Think Arcanine, Lugia, creatures that are rooted in nature or mythology. I want wild, primal, and powerful designs, but with control. Now they were hooked. Every eye was on you. In fact, you continued slowing your tone for emphasis. Instead of doing a regular interview, I have a challenge for all of you. You pace back and forth like a general briefing of battalion. What does that even mean? Each of you is to build a mini robot, something small, no bigger than a house cat. It can be any animal-based creature you want, and when you're done, I want you to present it to me. Hands were already reaching for notebooks, people whispering to one another about ideas, when your voice dropped firm and clear. This factory is big enough for all of you to find a place here. If you follow the rule, animal-based, you could all potentially get hired. You gave them a second to soak that in before continuing, your voice serious now. However, there are conditions. Your robot must be able to walk on its own, no remote-controlled wheel toys. It has to be able to take commands, voice or gesture-based. I don't care. And most importantly, you stopped and looked at each of them in turn. Your robot must listen to me as well as you. Got that? Program it to respond to my voice too. I've had enough of being attacked. That's the rule for working here. Safety, control, and loyalty. There was a beat of silence. Then, understood. Yes, Boss Trenton. I've got the perfect idea for this. Delta's voice chimes in from the intercom again, calm but enthusiastic. The workstations have been activated. Tools, materials, and AI code assistants are standing by. Applicants, you may now begin your challenge. With a rush of movement, the applicants go to their feet and file down a hallway into the design bay. A massive space filled with polished tables, holographic blueprint stations, wielding arms, material lockers, and voice assistant AIs built into every bench. Sparks flew. Code began pouring into interfaces. Ideas came alive before your eyes. You stood at the doorway watching reprise your factory. Your vision began its first real heartbeat. Would you like to walk around and observe their progress? Help someone who looks stuck? Talk to Delta or your AI system about monitoring progress or safety protocols. One more thing while everybody works. If your design is good enough, not only will you get hired, but on top of that, there's potential that your robot might get chosen to be built again, but a lot bigger. Dude, so it can be one of the security system robots here to protect the building. It never gets the word here. It don't make sense. So work hard. And remember, animal based. Plus, it has to listen to me. As well as you. Here we go. This is really. See, I like this idea. It's just the fact that it keeps freezing up. I mean, keeps messing up my words. And I keep not knowing what to think or say. Because, like, I like having so much freedom, but it's just hard to figure out what to do with that freedom because I know what I want to do. And that's kind of something with a robotic fur alligator. It says, as I took one final step forward into the design bay, your voice rising just enough to carry over the whirring of servo monitors, tapping on keyboards, and excited chatter echoing throughout the massive space. One more thing, everyone. Listen closely. The room quietened almost instantly, every head turning her way. Some paused mid-spark, mid-code, even mid-sketch. All eyes looked on you, hanging on your words. You spoke with a calm fire that cut through the hum of machinery. If your design is good enough, not only will you get hired, but there's something even bigger on the line. You gave that a beat, letting the suspense sink in. There's a chance that your robot could be chosen to be built again, but this time, bigger. A lot bigger. Gasp. A few wide-eyed stares and a couple jaws dropping. If I see the potential in your mini build, I said, stepping down the row between benches, it might become part of the security system for this entire factory. We're taking life-sized, fully operational, building protecting guardians. You paused near one applicant. He had the base frame of what looked like a robotic saber-toothed cat forming on his table. He looked up at you like you just told him he won the lottery. So work hard, be creative, and remember, animal-based designs only, and your robot must listen to me as well as you. No exceptions. The room burst into motion with a whole new level of excitement. Sparks crackled, designs evolved. You saw new concepts forming in real time. Serpentine bots slithering across test floors, robotic owls flapping prototype wings, a sleek fox bot with light-up paws running a mobility test. This was it. The dream you built, the empire you were beginning. Delta's voice came in again over the factory-wide speaker, this time with just a trace of emotion programmed into her tone. Now commencing prototype build phase. It's the estimated time, 3 hours. Good luck, applicants. What would you like to do now? Walk them on the dozen hours and come on their work? Pull one up inside the top more deeply. Begin setting up the AI control system that will help manage the final robots. Say the word and I'll give it to you big and detailed. Okay, let's see. Give me a second to think about that because I've been struggling lately with these